Hi, how you guys doing? This is Rich from Rich TV Live, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about CannTrust. So, CannTrust has received notice from the New York Stock Exchange that they have 6 months to get the stock above a dollar, and if they don't get the stock above the dollar, they'll be delisted off the New York Stock Exchange. They've received notice from the Toronto Stock Exchange that if they don't get their act together and get their reports up to date and their financials up to date, they'll be delisted off the Toronto Stock Exchange. So now they've been warned that they're going to be delisted off the Toronto Stock Exchange, and they've been warned that they'll be delisted off the New York Stock Exchange. Do you think that's going to happen? I don't see it happening. They have 6 months to be able to get their stock back above a dollar so that they don't get delisted in the New York Stock Exchange. I don't think that that'll be a problem. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be above a dollar, but definitely the pressure's on CannTrust. I mean, they're getting the pressure from the Toronto Stock Exchange. They're getting the pressure from the New York Stock Exchange. And it's kind of shocking that the price is staying up considering all the negative publicity, the negative pressure from the Toronto Stock Exchange, from the New York Stock Exchange, and yet the stock is still maintaining a very reasonable price, which leads me to believe that the company is going to do well. You know, if they were going to struggle and they were going to fail, I think they would be well below a dollar already. So the fact that they've maintained a price above a dollar in Canada leads me to believe that there's way too many big players involved in this company that believe it is too big to fail. And 6 months is still a long time for them to get their act together on the New York Stock Exchange. They've got less time to get their act together on the Toronto Stock Exchange. They need to get their act together by March. I think it's March 25th on the Toronto Stock Exchange. They've got 6 months on the New York Stock Exchange. I think they do find a way to get it all resolved. I think CannTrust finds a way to fix these issues. And I predict they do get their license. And Health Canada gives them their license back. And hopefully CannTrust gets on the right track again. And we see CannTrust moving in the right direction. Because I think this could be a catalyst for the sector. Clearly, CannTrust having the issues that they've had has been very bad for the sector. So in my opinion, CannTrust getting back to doing business, getting their license reissued by Health Canada could be a huge catalyst to really get this sector back where it needs to be, which is a thriving hyper-growth sector. Love to know what you guys think about this news. Let me read it to you guys right here. This was literally a press release today. CannTrust Holdings, Inc. announced today that on December 9, 2019, the company received written notification from the New York Stock Exchange that CannTrust is no longer in compliance with the New York Stock Exchange continued listing standard rules because the per-share trading price of the company's common shares has fallen below the New York Stock Exchange share price rule. The New York Stock Exchange requires the average closing price of a listed company's common shares to be at least $1 per share over a consecutive 30-day trading period. As of December 9, 2019, the 30-day average closing price of the company's common share was 97 cents US. In accordance with the New York Stock Exchange rules, CannTrust has 6 months from the receipt of the notice to regain compliance. During this time period, the company's common shares will continue to be listed and trade on the New York Stock Exchange as usual. Under New York Stock Exchange rules, CannTrust can regain compliance at any time during the 6-month period of its common shares having a closing price of at least $1 on the last trading day of any calendar month during the period, and also have an average closing price of at least $1 US over the 30-day trading period ending on the last trading day of that month or on the last of the cure period. This is the news that is circulating for CannTrust. What do you guys think about this? Oscar says, hola, amigo. Thanks for your videos. Very helpful. Yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think about this. Do you think CannTrust goes back up? Do you think CannTrust is done? Do you think CannTrust is finished? Or do you believe that there will be a resurrection? My prediction is that there will be a resurrection in CannTrust. They will get their license back from Health Canada. They will not be delisted from the New York Stock Exchange, and they will not be delisted from the Toronto Stock Exchange. I'm obviously a very optimistic person for the sector. I'm a cannabis enthusiast. I do not want to see CannTrust fail. There's a lot of investors that have invested in CannTrust deeply. I do not want to see them lose money. Jordan says, rest in peace, any CannTrust bag holders. Well, I hope that that's not the case. Yo, how you doing, Dylan? What's going on, brother? Got another one of your videos up today. Thank you very much for another one of those. Actually, 2 of your videos, which I combined. Thank you very much for your videos, bro. Really appreciate it. So yeah, the big news is that CannTrust, you know, they can't get a break. First, it was the Toronto Stock Exchange talking about delisting them. Now they're hearing it from the New York Stock Exchange. So love to know what you guys think about this. Do you guys think CannTrust is done, or could this be an amazing buying opportunity? Brian says $12 average. Yeah, CannTrust was at $12 this year. From $12 to $1. It's been a nightmare. I mean, a lot of other companies have been too. It's not just CannTrust, but it definitely hasn't been a big winner. Let's just put it that way. Dylan Fraser says, big money will keep it above $1 USD. Yes, looks great. You're welcome. My pleasure. Can't wait for edibles and bevies. It's around the corner, man. And I'll be waiting for your videos, bro. I'll be waiting for those videos, man. Those videos are epic. I love them. Jordan says, sounds pretty optimistic. I hope for fellow cannabis investors' sake, it comes back. I think best case scenario, they get bought out by 2020. I mean, it's possible. I mean, right now there's so many different scenarios. I just read an article from Bloomberg that suggests that companies are going to start investing in cannabis companies again, and that you're going to see more funding flow back into cannabis companies. So I think we've had a really tough time. CannTrust was a big part of that with their scandal. I think if CannTrust can get back somehow, if they can find a way to get back, I think that could really revive the sector. I really do think that could revive the sector. Yeah, Wayland was a nightmare. Right now, they're in creditor protection. So yeah, there are going to be some companies that are going to fail along the way. That's why as investors, we need to be very careful, and we need to invest in the best and not take too many risks. Invest in companies that are profitable. Companies like TrueLeaf, companies like CureLeaf, companies like GTII, companies like IIPR. These are companies that I think we really need to look at. Obviously, companies like Afria, I like Afria a lot. I think the upside is great there. So there's always going to be opportunities. We just need to put our money in the best. Because if we put our money in the best, we give ourselves the best chance to win. So the big news is CannTrust has received notice from the New York Stock Exchange that if they don't maintain a $1 share price for CTST in America over the next 6 months, they will be delisted off the New York Stock Exchange. Love to know what you guys think about this news. Do you think that CannTrust is on the verge of bankruptcy? I don't think so. They've got 185 million in cash and assets. So I don't think that's an issue. Do you think that they will not get their license back? Do you think that they will get delisted on the Toronto Stock Exchange? Do you think that they will get delisted on the New York Stock Exchange? Love to know your opinion on this. Dylan Fraser says, me too. I love doing them. I'm not much of a legal guy, but for Rich TV, I can invest into some content. It's so much fun. More to come. You know what's funny is I thought you did a really good job with your video. I thought you did a really good job panning and showing all the products. I thought it was really well done, Dylan. You should be proud of yourself, man. And I've had, you know, if you read the messages, other people were really happy with the video too. So I think we're coming along. And I think we're one of the only platforms I know of that's doing these types of reviews. And I know right now they're not getting a ton of views, but that's okay. I feel like we're ahead of our time. Remember, cannabis is not legal in America yet, and YouTube is an American entity, so owned by Google. So I feel like we're ahead of our time. Just kind of like, 3 years ago, we were ahead of our time talking about wheat stocks. Nobody was talking about wheat stocks back then either. And a lot of times videos would get censored. I feel like this is just the same thing. We're doing something nobody's ever done. YouTube probably doesn't really know what to do with it. And, now that we've done it, watch the floodgates open. Everyone else is going to start to do it. So we just want it to be first, and we'll continue to be first. And we take a lot of pride in that. The first ones to talk about wheat stocks on YouTube, the first ones to do weed cannabis reviews, the first ones to have cannabis songs. I mean, cannabis stock songs. I don't know anybody else in the world that has cannabis stock songs. I mean, not even Drake has cannabis stock songs yet. Yet being the key word. Shout out to Drake. Shout out to Ill Kid. So yeah, it's been a crazy year, 2019. It's been such a crazy year. A lot of things didn't go the way cannabis investors would have wanted, but things in life have a weird way of balancing themselves out. 2019 might be brutal, and 2020 might be great. So hopefully we're setting ourselves up for a huge 2020. And I think as investors, we need to be smarter with our money, and we need to invest in the best in 2020 if we want to win. Dylan Fraser says, once more products come out, it will get more views. People will want to know what's out there and where the best products are. I agree. Good point. Very good point. So wanted to break the news to you guys. CannTrust on the verge. They've got 6 months of being delisted on the New York Stock Exchange. They've got 3 months to get their act together, or they'll get delisted off the Toronto Stock Exchange. They need to get their financials up to date to maintain on the Toronto Stock Exchange, and they need to get their stock price at least at $1 to maintain on the New York Stock Exchange. Love to know what you guys think. If you like this video, comment down below, smash the like button, share the video everywhere. Your boy Rich from Rich TV Live. We're bringing the info, we're bringing the winners, and bring them to you first. 2020 will be the year of the melt up. You heard it here first. I'm going to talk about it more tomorrow. This is your boy Rich from Rich TV Live, and I'm out. Peace. Can you trust CannTrust? We'll see.